everyone. It's been a minute as usual, because I just do this for fun. Um, but Linda has tempted me back, so she did. It was actually just a rebroadcast this week, but the rebroadcast was of an episode or a live that had been on my list to maybe cover in the future. Mostly just because of the title, and the title is Whose Body Preservation Tubes Are These? And I want to know whose body preservation tubes they are, wherever they may be. Um, I can't show you the thumbnail right now. Maybe I can cut it in here, but it's like aliens and it's like a little drawing of aliens and body preservation tubes, whatever those are. I mean, it just looks like something out of sci-fi movie. But anyway, I just love that. I love that the title is posed as a question: whose body preservation tubes are these? Um, so this episode, I think, was originally from 2023. So seems a long time ago now. But yeah, let's go ahead and watch it and see what Linda has to say.
Hi, everyone here and around
Hi,
the world
Linda.
in this difficult time of more human violence bursting in Israel and Gaza, along with the persistent war in Ukraine. And now a new medical study has found, quote, gun deaths rising sharply among children, published last week in the journal Pediatrics. Until now, car accidents caused the most child deaths. But according to an analysis published on Thursday, October 5th, 2023, the rate of firearm fatalities among children under 18 increased by 87% from 2011.
All right, this is very bad. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but it is just like she's talking to us from 2 years ago, and just wow, things have gotten so much worse. You know. But I mean, it's not like Linda to do straight news like from the New York Times. So was this just something that she saw on her Instagram feed or something? Or is there like a relevance to what she's talking about today? I guess she'll tell us.
11 through 2021 in the United States. The death rate attributable to car accidents fell by almost half, leaving firearm injuries the top cause of accidental death in children.
I do truly wonder how many people in her audience are like, I don't know, Second Amendment types and are like, it's worth it for XYZ reasons. But I don't know. Actually, I will say pretty much everyone, there were like a couple exceptions, pretty much everyone I met at the Conscious Life Expo, who I think are her main, that's sort of like the kind of people who were her audience, they were all very sweet and very kind, accepting people. So.
Close quote. Beyond troubled Earth, NASA and SpaceX tomorrow morning, October 12th, 2023, at 10:60 a.m. daylight time, they will launch from Kennedy Space Center with a science mission called Psyche. You can watch the launch tomorrow, Thursday, beginning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on NASA.
Let's see if it actually. I want to check on this, because that like SpaceX things. I mean, I think that the things that they do for NASA are usually probably okay, but like their other stuff does tend to explode a lot. So let's check on this. Hold on. Okay, as far as I can tell from Wikipedia, this seems to have been successful. This is going to orbit Psyche, which is an asteroid, to investigate asteroids with metallic cores. But I'm sure Linda will tell us what it's actually about.
TV at nasa.gov/NASA TV. The name Psyche comes from the Greek word which means the soul, mind, spirit,
Psyche,
or invisible animating entity which occupies the physical body. The Psyche mission is headed for a puzzling metallic object in our solar system called
I think it's
16 Psyche. 16 Psyche orbits in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter and got its name for being the 16th minor planet in order of discovery in our Earth solar system. 16 Psyche's orbit averages about 280 million miles from the Sun, and the Psyche spacecraft won't get to the strange metal world until August of 2029. Scientists have never seen a body in our solar system before that has largely a metallic surface. The Psyche metal asteroid is 144 miles long and 173 miles wide, and is made up of platinum, nickel, iron, and gold. And Forbes estimates its value at $10 quadrillion.
Well, I mean,
One quadrillion is equal.
Like, what does that even mean when it comes to an asteroid that's out in space that, like, we can't in any time in any of our lifetimes feasibly, like, get and use? Like, what does it mean for it to be worth that much? And also, like, that's in, like, our current dollars. I don't know. Like, I just think that that's a stupid exercise, but that's me.
To a million billion. The puzzle is, where did the metal asteroid come from? Is it the leftover core of an evolving planet that was somehow stripped of its outer rocky shell?
I mean, I guess that could be
6
true.
years from now, in August 2029, hopefully without any problems, the Psyche spacecraft will reach the 16 Psyche asteroid and start unraveling its metallic mysteries. Meanwhile, back on Earth, there are the many other mysteries related to outer space, and specifically the many humans who
she's really drawn, like, the random connections. It's like this horrible stuff about children dying from gun violence. Also, not on this planet. They're gonna, it just almost feels like the nightly news where it's just like one thing after another, but, like, they're not actually related. And now she's gonna say, what? Okay, go for it, Linda. I love it.
Describe interactions with non-human beings face to face or in vivid dreams.
In vivid
2
dreams.
weeks ago, from my
She's
September
acknowledging that a lot of these things are vivid dreams. Okay.
7th Earth Files YouTube channel broadcast, I asked this question: is there an avatar soul link between some humans and ETs? That question first came.
Wait, I thought we were talking about body preservation tubes. I was told this was going to be about body preservation tubes. Are you showing me something else that's not about body preservation tubes? Give me a second here, because I want to see if she just said it was the body preservation tubes episode, but it's actually some other episode that I don't care about, because I feel like if it's going to be about an avatar soul link between some humans and ETs, then it's literally just going to be, people have dreams about ETs, and I am so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Of course, I also do know that even the body preservation tubes are going to have showed up in someone's dream, or someone is going to have seen them when they were a child in the hospital or something like that. But let me just check. All right, I checked. I skipped ahead a little bit. There are body preservation tubes involved. I just don't really know why the dates on this seem weird, because, like, in another place it says that this is from October 11th of 2023. Maybe this is the episode right before this. I don't know, but I needed to know. All right, let's keep going.
Up when I was writing my third book, Glimpses of Other Realities, Volume 2, High Strangeness, in the early 1990s. That's when some UFO abductees were sketching clear glass tubes
this is what is
with
in the
light
thumbnail.
shining from the top and bottom onto tall blonde-haired, tall black-haired, tall red-haired, tall brown-haired, and some shorter human bodies, seemingly all in suspended animation in these preservation tubes. One female abductee was told she would undergo, quote, translation into the light, close quote. One short, 5-foot-tall human female abductee named Juana Lawson from New Jersey had experienced
What
endurance.
is up with these pictures? What is up with these pictures she's always showing us? Who drew this? Like, what is this thing? What is this thing with the eye? Is this a person or is this another alien thing down here?
Into a tall, thin, female, white-skinned, black-haired humanoid body preserved in a clear glass tube. I asked her, what did the tall ETs want to accomplish? Juana answered, quote, they wanted to take a sub-creature and evolve it to the level that they are on and prove it could be done.
Sub-creature?
But why? To prove that what is not.
Also, this is like a weird question, right? Because, okay, so they wanted to take a sub-creature, which I assume are humans. I don't know what a sub-creature is. I mean, I wonder if any of you have seen that movie Begonia. Ooh, is this, I mean, it is a recent movie that I think is still in theaters, so maybe I shouldn't spoil it, but also no one watches my channel except sometimes I think my girlfriend watches it. So anyway, like, but like, what are we, like a sub creature of the aliens? And they're going to evolve us. Like, does that mean that they're going? I mean, that I feel like that word is not useful, right? Because evolution, at least in our scientific understanding, is something that takes place over thousands of years. So, what does that mean here? Anyway, let's keep going.
Pure and good could be made pure and good. So is the soul the major challenge? Are tall beings inserting the experimental preserved bodies with souls? Juana answered, quote, no, with their genes, taking from themselves and putting their genes into the fetuses of the human entity. Each time you do that, you get.
Wait, okay, so are these the evolved humans in the tubes, like that they've like grown these like evolved humans in that are like evolved to like the ET's level, like they've grown them in the tubes and they're putting their genetic material in them? Is that also why they gotta be white? Why they gotta be white? You know? I feel some kind of way about that.
Higher evolution to teach love, unity, oneness with this conscious universe, close quote. In our discussions in the early 1990s, Juana Lawson stressed that the tall extraterrestrials genetically experimenting on Earth say, quote,
okay, there so are the many tall extraterrestrials are in the tubes. I'm very confused about who's in the tubes. Like, who is in the tubes? Okay, I know whose the tubes are, right? The tubes belong to the aliens, but like, who is in the tubes? Like, is it the aliens? Is it the evolved humans with alien DNA? I guess that's what it is. Is it just you? I don't know, and why they got to be white.
That are positive, we will try to pick them up before Earth has destructions from nuclear weapons that can have a devastating effect on other dimensions and the entire galaxy, close quote. Those words were from an interview that I did in the early 1990s. 10 years later, by 2002, military and aerospace whistleblowers began to talk about another tall, very advanced humanoid group described to be white as chalk from hair to feet. Referred to as tall whites, one retired aerospace engineer told me that, quote, without the tall whites' protection, we Homo sapien would not have survived this long, close quote.
Okay.
So why haven't we been officially introduced to the tall whites publicly? And why haven't the tall whites shown up?
Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they don't want to. I feel like this guy who channels aliens, Tony Ghazi, who I'm sure I've talked about before because he's my favorite. You know, his answer to all these questions are like, because they don't feel like it, because they want to have this other experience of not showing themselves to us. That's what they want to do. They're exploring their infinity by not doing the thing that you want them to do. What about that?
In the abductee illustrations.
Also, like, so I don't know. There's just like so many complex ideas about what, extraterrestrials would or could or might want to do if they found out about us. You know, there's sort of like the three body problem issue where it's like the dark forest theory where like they would just annihilate us as soon as they found out that we were here because, you know, we're a potential threat, everyone's a potential threat, and that like that the idea is that you would want to knock someone out, any other civilization out, as soon as you found out about it because it's an existential threat to you. I mean, I see the reasoning for that. I mean, especially in the universe that that author describes, but also, you know, I hope for a better version of the universe, but also like the aliens could have the prime directive with us and they like don't, you know, prime directive being this Star Trek idea of like we don't interfere in less advanced societies that don't have like space travel. I literally just hit the mic, I'm sorry. We don't interfere in less advanced societies that don't have space travel because, you know, they need to develop naturally or whatever. You know, so it's that's a reason we couldn't see them. Or also they might have just particularly looked at us and been like, ew, you guys are terrible and gross. We don't want to have anything to do with you. Also fair. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons why we may not have met these tall whites.
Of different tall humanoids that have black, red, brown, or blonde hair preserved in those clear preservation tubes.
Like she's just taking this.
But
she's
since
taking this. This is the lady told her this. She's just like, yep. Linda's like, yeah, there are body preservation tubes. There just are. I just know that there are, and they have these kind of people in them, and this is what the people in them look like. Yeah, they just exist. I just know, like, because this lady told me one time. That's that.
That recent September 27th Earth Files broadcast, I have received one man's experience with what seemed to be tall whites supervising his unconscious placement in some kind of clear container. This report by a 46-year-old producer of meditation music evolved from a confusing...
Linda, why? Okay. I mean, I feel like this is a step down from the graphic designers and former military officers. A producer of meditation music? I mean, okay, you know, all professions are valid, and if you can make a living that way, that's great. In fact, I feel like we shouldn't live in a capitalistic society. People should be able to do whatever they're called to do. It's lovely that there are people out there making meditation music, but why are we citing his profession? It's nothing to do with anything. I mean, the military people, like, I know I make this criticism all the time. It's like, oh, just because they're former military doesn't mean that they actually have any special knowledge or know anything about aliens, because, like, come on, you know, why would, I mean, that's not necessarily true. The graphic designer guy, I mean, like, also, like, why do we need to know he's a graphic designer? Has nothing to do with aliens as far as I can tell, except for the fact that I guess he was able to make some pretty interesting illustrations of the aliens, which I appreciated. But I don't know. I just think it's undeniably funny that this meditation music producer is, like, a source about aliens. And he was put in a clear tube. All right.
Memory that haunts him to this day.
It haunts him.
The year was 2010. Yes. He was 33 years old, living in Minnesota.
At least he was not a child.
One day, he was experimenting with his guitar and keyboard to produce new meditation music. Suddenly, he found himself waking up behind what he thought was a clear glass window in a tube or a rectangle under the control of two very tall, identical male beings, the color of white chalk from head to toe.
And all of those previous stories about tall whites had no effect on how this story came to him.
Then I started to learn how to meditate, being kind of amazed by how it can really help.
Oh,
and so I thought,
he's got his identity obscured, and we're only given his first name. He is worried about repercussions for this story. I mean, I guess I would too. I don't know what kind of repercussions he's worried about. I would be mostly worried about the social repercussions, but you know.
I'm just going to sit back on my chair and meditate for a minute. And I just popped right into wherever it was.
What were you seeing?
Well, I woke up inside whatever it was. All of a sudden, I was in a tube or in a box.
I will say this drawing is a little bit more competent than some of the ones that we see. It was also not drawn by a literal child, which is also an upgrade.
And there was a rectangular window sort of thing. Like I was looking through this window.
It's really hard to draw hands. You know, it's really hard to draw hands. I can't draw hands, so I assume that these people don't just have little club hands. They probably have fingers, but it's hard to draw hands.
Right in front of my face. And I saw two beings in front of me over a large console, and they were both doing something on this. They seemed taller than me, and I'm 6 foot. The room was very white, very stark, clean feeling.
Yeah, just
and the one on the right turned around, noticed I was awake or something, and I just energetically felt an urgency, like, you're not supposed to see this. Like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be awake. Go back to sleep feeling. He quickly turned around and walked towards me, and as quick as he could, put me back to sleep.
By doing what?
He did the hand wave thing.
Okay, explain what you were seeing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just so startled by the eyes. They're so creepy. Okay. Why do they look like that? Okay.
About 15 feet in front of me. The one on the right, he turned around. All of a sudden, I felt like I woke up. Like I was just waking up, and I was like looking through this window. What's going on in here? Where am I? Like, I'm looking through this rectangular window or something, and he swung around 180 degrees. His eyes locked into mine, and I got this energetic impression like, why are you awake? And then he quickly waved his hand. His forearm moved, but
toward you?
Side to side. It was like one time.
He moved the lower part of his arm like a windshield wiper.
Yes.
Why are we getting
And then what did you feel when his arm moved like a windshield wiper, and what happens?
Yeah, so he moved his arm from one side to the other, and then I just felt this, I guess, energetically, it felt, I could compare it to like a gust of wind, and then I was back to my normal self. But I felt kind of this.
Are you still in the tube, and are they still outside together, those two?
I was back awake.
But where are you back awake?
In the basement at my house.
Okay, so now you're in the basement of your house. What happens?
I was really confused. I didn't quite know what that was all about.
You fell asleep.
It felt real. It felt so real.
If I'm understanding, just by waving his hand at you, you went unconscious again.
Yeah, I snapped out of whatever. I just kind of came back into the basement.
So describe in detail these beings that have that kind of control over you.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Linda. Why are we taking this so seriously?
Yeah, I remember them being male. They were very tall, very skinny, stark.
Okay, how do you know that they're male? They're aliens. Like, how do you know? I mean, I guess you could be like, well, they look like human males. I mean, it was so boring. And also, like, you don't know because they're aliens. And they don't even, may not even have, aliens probably wouldn't have the same conceptions of gender that we do. Or even the same, like, sex organs or any of that, you know? They're aliens. Like, get a little more creative.
Like, their faces just seemed to look the same, looked very similar to each other, like similar height, almost like they were clones from what I remember.
Yeah.
How tall and what were they wearing?
I just remember all white, and they seemed very tall and wispy. The tube or whatever I was in It felt like I was standing upright. They
Also,
felt
I'll say,
taller
like,
than
there was a little more of an attempt to draw hands here. Still not great. More like, it's like this.
me.
As if you were in a tube or a box in a tube that was vertical. You're 6 foot tall. The tube you're in might be a little bit taller than that, but you're looking at two beings that are essentially white from their hair, face, clothes, and they look
Do
the
they have
same.
hair?
Yeah. I remember their faces. I remember they were wearing clothes, but it was very minimalist. I just remember seeing a lot of white colors.
God, it's so boring.
Like wearing.
Why are the aliens so boring? Why are the aliens always looking like they're like really tall, skinny white people, and they're like in a white room and they're wearing white clothes? Like, or they're like gray aliens that like look like the stereotypical aliens from the cover of the communion book, or whatever. Like, why are the aliens so boring? Like, why can't we get some mercantile dogs up in here, or like some more mantises? Or I mean, even mantises, I feel like, I mean, Tony Ghazi loves the mantises, and like therefore, I mean, they seem fine. But mantises are still based on a thing that's on planet Earth. Give me something more creative. I don't know.
A leotard to cover the body, but not clothes as we think of clothes.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I actually feel like the most creative conception of quote unquote aliens that I can. Well, the one in Three Body Problem was really interesting, where like they get to like dry up into little husks and get rehydrated when needed. So that's sort of interesting, and they like communicate with like bouncing light off their bodies or something. So that was fun, because they didn't know how to lie, because their thoughts just like manifest on the surface of their bodies or something like that. Or in the His Dark Materials series, the ones that like kind of look like they're like gazelles, but they have like little hook arms that go through like these seed pods, and they like roll around like motorcycles. And they have like diamond shaped bodies. I like those too. That was interesting. Like, let's get some of that kind of energy going.
Like a one piece sort of thing. It wasn't like a traditional thing we would put on Earth.
Their faces. What would you compare their faces?
It is a thing that it's not, maybe not traditional, but it is a thing we wear on Earth. It's called a unitard. You can buy one on Amazon.
Too, in terms of human faces.
Very white. I thought Nordic. I just thought they were like albinos, really tall albinos.
Because they were all white, including their hair.
Yeah.
And you were not seeing blonde hair.
I don't distinctly remember seeing blonde hair.
The albino comes up because that is the one word that humans know when all color, the hair, the face, everything is white. And that's why it's important to know the albino.
But like people with albinism like aren't like always uniformly like white. Like often like their hair appears like super light blonde. Like I guess it can be like white-ish, But and also like their eyes usually, I think, like I guess it depends on like what kind of form of albinism you have, but like their eyes can be like red or whatever other colors. Yeah, so I feel like that's not actually very helpful, because I feel like that's not what he's describing.
Impression that you have is because they were all white.
Yeah.
The color of the eyes.
Silver, kind of bluish, grayish, silvery.
Because they sort of glowed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I never really knew what to think of this.
You're talking to somebody who's interviewed a lot of people, and there are tall whites. And the tall whites are supposed to be spiritual and supposed to be allies of humans. Not many people have a close-up with the tall whites. Have you had any vivid dreams about either or both of those tall whites since?
I haven't. I've had dreams where I've like shot up into a spacecraft and there's other kinds of beings. Holy crap. I didn't know there's this much variety out there.
Another UFO abductee nearly 30 years ago also saw clear, transparent tubes and rectangles encasing many different races and ages of Earth humans.
I mean, 30 years ago would be in the late 90s. There's been plenty of sci-fi media with those things in it.
Is Betty Andreessen Luca, the subject of UFO investigator Raymond Fowler's several books about the 1979 Andreessen affair and the 1990s Watchers. In 1996, when I was working on my third book, Glimpses of Other Realities, Volume 2, High Strangeness, I met and talked with Betty and her husband, Bob
I have to
Luca.
say, that's a badass title. Volume 2, High Strangeness. I thought that's pretty good, Linda.
About their perspectives of the non-humans. Betty sent me this illustration that she did of, quote,
this is actually not
the people
a bad
of
drawing.
all races and times encased in clear rectangular receptacles for preservation by the non-human beings that she called the Watchers, who have monitored the Earth for thousands, millions of years. Betty said mankind is destroying much of nature, and the beings are telling her that they're doing this because the human race will become sterile by the pollution and the bacteria and the terrible things that are on the Earth. They said they're watchers and tall elders, and they keep seed from man and woman from Earth so the human form won't be lost. The balance of nature,
I mean, if
all
they just
nature.
want to reproduce humans, they don't need the whole body, you know? They just plucked these people from their lives and froze them or whatever. They don't need to do all of that. They could just, I mean, they could just harvest sperm like apparently the Greys have been doing. Did they ever think of that? The tall whites are supposed to be so smart and everything.
Including man, is in jeopardy, close quote. Betty also stressed, quote, everything in nature has a plus and a minus, a light and dark, a negative and positive, a good and bad. It must be, for without some content of evil, there can be no good. There can be no growth. We do not need evil for good. We need choice. The Creator gave us choice. We cannot use that choice unless we have two choices to make, evil or good.
I feel like these are unhelpful
evil
concepts.
On this dimensional plane must exist.
This also gets me some of the UFO people, most of the UFO people are very weirdly religious and and specifically in a pretty Christian way. I mean, even if they're not Christian outright in sort of a doctrinaire sense, this man and sin and original sin and choice and the devil and this way of thinking about the world and this highly black and white moralistic categories and stuff. They really have a lot of that. And I'm disappointed in them because they're alien people. They're supposed to be more interesting than that.
Betty also said the extraterrestrial watchers and tall elder ETs she encountered told her that they created the gray biological caretakers, or artificial intelligent androids, to be remote imaging surrogates connected to the tall elders with bioelectric mind projections.
Okay, I'm sorry. I actually need to rewind that because what? I missed that, whatever that was. Let's go back a little bit.
Betty also said the extraterrestrial watchers and tall elder ETs she encountered told her that they created the gray biological caretakers, or artificial intelligent androids, to be remote imaging surrogates connected to the tall elders with bioelectric mind projections. Betty asked, quote,
so the Greys are robots.
What if humans are serving a similar purpose now as remote imaging surrogates for very advanced beings, but with free will to choose good or evil?
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Because, if the aliens are in our brains controlling us, then why do we suck so much? I guess it could be because aliens suck. But if it's they're in our brains but we have free will to choose, so they're just seeing everything that we think and do, but they don't have any control over it, or they don't want to have any control over it. Why?
Evil, close quote. Betty wondered if the purpose for Homo sapien creation on Earth might have served a multi-level agenda.
Okay.
A test experiment to unite the divine spirit with primitive animals, as Juana Lawson described, and to use the petri dish of planet Earth to test new hybrid creatures, while the experimental humans did work for the elder watchers, such as mining and building pyramids, ziggurats, and temples.
Why?
As community.
Why would advanced aliens have any interest in us building pyramids and ziggurats and stuff for them? Like, why would they even want that? What would that do for them? They're like, have space travel. They don't need a pyramid.
Communication machines in the elder programs to harvest information from human souls, minds, and bodies.
Okay, I was talking again, and I didn't understand that. Let's go back a little bit.
Dish of planet Earth to test new hybrid creatures, while the experimental humans did work for the elder watchers, such as mining and building pyramids, ziggurats, and temples, as communication machines.
Wait, the pyramids are communication
in
machines?
the elder
How?
programs to harvest information.
I mean, listen, like, I guess modern archaeological techniques did not get to the pyramids for a very long time because the pyramids are so old. But, like, there was communications technology in them that just got stolen, and, like, I don't know, it's like when someone strips the copper out of an old house and, like, resells it. Like, is that what happened? Because as far as I can tell, the pyramids are just made of stone.
From human souls, minds, and bodies, and from other Earth life, and perhaps even for use in different timelines and survival needs of time travelers.
I don't think we need time travel.
Maybe,
it's already really complicated.
Like political factions, the Dark Party and the Light Party are competing over legislation to legalize the production of cloned android life outside the force of creation's recycling program.
What?
Of a finite number of souls.
What?
Maybe some souls.
What? Wait. Are the aliens having governmental issues, that legislation that they're fighting over about whether or not they can make artificial souls because the universe has decided that there's only going to be a finite number of souls that get recycled? This is a lot, Linda. This is a lot. Maybe this is in your book. Maybe I need to read your book because this is a lot. This is a lot.
Are captured and put into cloned bodies, which is fouling up God's process.
What? Why is God getting brought into this? Also, there's like a little cross here in the corner, if you can see. Why is God getting brought into this? Like, I don't know. It just seems like unnecessary to me. But yeah, okay, they're messing stuff up by capturing souls and putting them in clone bodies. This is starting to sound like QAnon.
Receive souls. If there is a finite number of souls under a strictly regulated God force soul recycling program, then clone bodies and androids might end up outside that recycling reincarnation force. The full scope of the game board for souls, spirits, and bodies of humans, extraterrestrials, angels, time travelers, other dimensionals, might be beyond human ability to understand.
Yeah, it's beyond my
One
ability
scientist
right now.
in New England, who has also been abducted by gray beings, who repaired his heart, told me that he was shown holograms that depicted a series of universes in pairs, mirrored images, each the opposite of the other, from the subatomic to the macro.
Oh, this reminds me, I did read something about I feel like this might be from a newsletter. I think this might be from, maybe this was mentioned, I think maybe the QAA podcast. It was in one of their episode descriptions, but it was a premium episode, so I couldn't listen to it, so I was a little sad. But it was something like that there's someone on the internet who's like convinced everyone that there's like a mirror planet to Earth somewhere out there, and but that planet is communist and everyone is having like a way better time over there than they're having over here, and we need to, like, I don't know, learn something from that, or maybe we need to go there. And anyway, we need to all be communist, basically, I think it was the point of that. But yeah, I don't know, just made me think of that.
And he told me, quote, "Our universe is paired to another one, which is completely opposite of this one.
How?
There, the skies are glowing white with dark suns, colors are indescribable and iridescent, and time flows to the past like a conveyor belt at the
I mean, listen, I read Martin Amos's Time's Arrow when I was like in high school or something, and it's an interesting narrative concept. It does not actually work on any physical level. Just saying.
Of death in our universe, we move through a tunnel into the mirror universe where it is all light. Okay. There, time moves to the past.
So this is just Christianity, basically. Like, you die here, you get zapped over to the better universe.
And souls again return back here. Close quote. Now, in this time of revolution, when the whole world will know we are not alone in this universe, our greatest challenge as a species will be to stand up unafraid before the old lords and watchers. Ultimately, there is a common bond among all life forms, ebbing and flowing on spirals of different frequencies, supported by a singular force, an invisible matrix of energy from which everything emerges and to which everything returns. And I want to thank all of you who are here tonight in this very difficult time on Earth. And Ian, I would like to know what questions and comments we have from viewers tonight.
This felt like it took me forever to get through, even though it was only 22 minutes. Anyway, that was fun. The Universal Soul Recycling Program, the tubes that we didn't actually, I don't know, I don't feel like we learned a lot about the tubes. The big bug eye alien that like made me laugh literally twice. Yeah, you know, good old Linda, always good for a laugh. We love her. She's a very sweet woman who just, you know, wish she had a little bit more discernment. Discernment's a word that they really like over there. Anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was hilarious. And yeah, I'll be back at some point in the future when I feel like it. Bye.